Anyone who doesn't think global warming is real, first of all, get out. You don't belong here.
Welcome to 2026,
Get
where
out.
we give no fucks, and we are who we are, and we're not apologetic. He shows
Fucking
everyone
smacks
their
one right
relationship.
on his face, and like there's like,
He's like, I'm not
gasps and
hiding
everything.
anymore.
He goes, "You broke my dick. My dick doesn't work anymore. Like it's all your fault." And he goes, "Okay."
Sucks to suck.
She's thinking we could make more money, and also we could make even more money as a joke if we, like, I don't know, invited a third in here.
Collab.
This week we read For the Fans by Nyla K. And there was just a couple things that I want to put in here at the beginning. So there's stuff in the forward. She says to go into this book with an open mind. Don't expect it to be like anything else. There is also a complete trigger warning link in the actual book itself to take you to her webpage to give you a list of all the content warning for the fans. So the content warnings are mention of childhood sexual assault not detailed on page, mention of sensitive religious topics, detailed trauma recovery and healing, mention of death and grief, mention of suicide, homophobia and internalized homophobia, filming of sexual acts for money, negligent parents, and characters are over legal age of consent during all sex scenes. Also, there's sources at the end of this book as well. If this is a book you want to read, there are links to the Rain Foundation. There's also links to the Trevor Project. There's also links to the It Gets Better Project. So there's a lot of like mental health related things in here. This book was like 600 pages. So surprise, Crystal had to do it. It's a big boy. It was big for me. That's the only time you'll ever hear me say that. Anyways. How are you?
Better now that I have food in my mouth.
Yeah.
So sorry if you can hear me chewing because
That's okay. What does
But
your shirt say?
I
Be
was hangry.
kind?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're on opposite ends of the spectrum today because mine says thanks, it's the depression.
I had to go to work today, so
That's true. I did not have to do that. Today was my day off. For everyone who does not know, I was sleeping and Ariel told me, hey, guess what? We're going to record today. And I was like, shitballs. And that was at 7 a.m.
my usual morning lineup.
Yeah. So it's,
I think I was
it's a
already
day.
at work.
Yeah. I don't have to deal with the snow. Ariel does. So that sucks for you. It is going to be
Par
cold.
for the course.
Yeah, it's gonna be cold for me on Sunday though, and I'm not looking fucking forward to any of that shit. Like
That
none
would
of
be a
that
high
sounds
here
fun.
lately.
I know. Well, it's the coldest it's been since
I was
the
gonna say still cold for
70s.
Florida. Yeah.
Yeah. To have a record low that
Welcome
we
to
haven't
global
had.
warming.
Fuck, I know, right? Anyone who doesn't think global warming is real, first of all, get out. You don't belong here.
Welcome to 2026,
Get
where
out.
we give no fucks, and we are who we are, and we're not apologetic.
There's a lot of things that we could say right now to like really thin the herd.
Oh my gosh, it fell out. I can't. There we go. I've fallen and I can't get up.
Sometimes we have to. The world's on fire currently.
This world is on fire.
Yeah. My
Well,
fucking
This
coffee,
country's on fire.
my coffee is really cold too, and I'm really upset about it. But there's no ice in my coffee.
You want to go heat it up now?
No, but I was making a joke. It's not iced coffee today.
So I was at lunch the other day.
I'm done.
And oh, okay. I was gonna ask you.
No. Continue.
Maybe
I
I
was just
shouldn't
like,
have-
I'm done.
I was at lunch the other day and it was like every question. Do you want rice? Do you not want rice kind of thing? And I was doing condiments or whatever. And so I was rice baby. ding, 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 ding. And then one of the kids was like, it's ice. And I'm like, no, it's rice now.
Yeah. Yeah. In
Uh,
case
we, we,
anyone was
we
not
don't like ice
aware,
here.
if anyone was not aware where we stand, well, fuck ICE, fuck Trump, free
Well, that's
Palestine, and do all that other shit. We're done.
fuck, eat, and be merry.
Get be gay, which is
Fabulous.
ironically
Which
not
is the
ironic.
theme of today.
Still not any better. Yes, today was a crystal choice. And the topic on the wheel that we had today was taboo, but it says in an unexpected twist way that makes us question how we feel about it and debate the morality. And in all honesty, it wasn't as straightforward
It's
taboo as
almost there.
Yeah.
It's way closer than any other wheel
Yeah.
we've had. Was I concerned that it was not going to fit the bill originally?
She
Yes,
was actually
because
very concerned as soon as she started, and she had only read one chapter, and she goes, "Crystal, what the fuck?"
what
And
kind
I'm
of
like,
taboo is this
"Okay,
shit?
but like continue reading because it does start when they are younger, but
15.
the majority of the book does take place, especially the sexual content part, while they are in college and they are of age." So,
Barely.
and the other part of the taboo portion of this is they are stepbrothers. So,
And
they film content
yes.
together.
Yeah, for money.
Correct. So,
There's plenty of pieces.
yeah,
And
yes.
maybe we will have a discourse about it, and it's great. In my head, I don't remember what book made me think of it because I liked the discourse we had. I think it was like a taboo book, and we were like sitting here going back and forth, like
It was Birthday Girl. We had a pretty discourse about that recently.
I don't think that was it when I made the wheel option though, because that was not on
probably
there.
not. No,
No,
we've had a lot of those. Like,
but there was one that we kept going back and forth. Is it actually bad or is it not bad? And like one that I can think of, this was not the one I had in mind, but one I can think of was Little Stranger, because we discussed, not that we liked that book necessarily, but we discussed so much the A, legalities of it, and B, is it morally wrong?
Yeah.
And on what level? So, and I like that thought process. And that was what I was trying to bring again.
Yeah. So this book had a lot of tropes that I actually enjoy. I know that like internalized homophobia is really hard for a lot of people, but for me, I like seeing a character going through it and then coming to the realization. Like, I don't know, both of them went through it at one point. But anyways, so
And on the flip side of that, I typically prefer my romances or FF romances to be, they are solidified in their identity and they know who they are. Because for me, I don't want the story to be about the awakening or realization. I just
I
want
felt
it to
like
be
so
well, no, but for when I come
yeah.
into, so I typically want it to be just like any other book where this is who they are, this is their story, you know what I mean? And I don't want to that's just not my preference to like,
Yeah,
not
and
that
I
I think they
think
did this in a huge
well,
way,
so that's the other thing is like
but
I know some
going
books
into things, that's typically where
Yeah.
I prefer.
Yeah, and I
like
know
those kind of books.
sometimes books can tend to take the realization of a thing like a little bit too far, like what you were saying. And this,
Yeah.
I don't think
And
that-
I really
this was more of
want to
a
make sure that people are healed and do the work before they're suddenly ready for romance.
right. And this had a lot of tragic. So the main men in this book are Kyron and Avi, or Kieran. Kieran and Avi, and they're stepbrothers. So basically, the reason they became stepbrothers is their parents like met, started dating, and they basically end up forcing the kids to move. They're all settled in their own lives. One lives in Boston, one lives somewhere. So
Avi is a child of a single mom.
Because his dad died when he was younger.
Yes, and they have this relationship that it's just them. It's them against the world. And now all of a sudden mom is dating this man who is a single father himself. And it's an entire world shift because
they're like
That was his
15
whole
at this
life.
point. Yeah.
Right. But
And
he
they're old
spent
enough.
like a
Yeah.
decade with just him and his mom.
Hmm.
And it was just like, this is what it is. And so now all of a sudden, 15, they're blending the family.
And of course, each of these boys has their own history. Like Kyron has a whole previous trauma that he's like completely buried at this point, and we'll go over that too briefly. I don't want to go like huge into. I do have notes way later about it. And Avi from the loss of his father as like a young age, and it was like a traumatic fucking death. This dude got crushed at work. What the fuck? That would fuck up any kid, to be honest. And so the relationship between the two boys in general is like super hostile because Kieran's, fucking trauma going on, and Abby just wants to like be involved, but he's feeling, overlooked and angry. He's emotionally guarded. Kieran is like got all
Abby
these
went into it
expectations.
with the A, he's not happy about it, but B, he's always had a close-knit family with his mom. So he
Yeah.
went into it like, okay, I need to put in the effort. This is my new thing. And he was like, instantly, Kieran was like, nope, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah. And
Wanted nothing to do with him.
yeah, and Karen throughout most of this book is so hostile and like aggressively aggressive,
and does not like Abby's openness and just general where he just is chill and doesn't want to confront anything. And
right, and a lot of that comes from
his
Karen's like he's got expectations that he has to deal with from his family and all this. I mean, because he's like this big football star, and so like he's got all those expectations from that, and like I can understand that because some kids get put under these huge, big expectations that you have to be this person, you have to do this thing. And then, of course, he's got all the trauma that he doesn't share. So, like
that, and it seemed like his relationship with his dad was the opposite of Abby and his mom. They were just distant, just coexisting within the same space and doing their own thing.
Yeah. So all of their high school time together ends up being like really like contentious and everything. And they end up going to the same college together. Guess who's not happy about that? Kyron. Kyron's actually pissed.
That's like his dream school, and how dare Abby go to the same school? But in reality, he just kind of wanted to piss off his brother. B, wanted to be with somebody, and C, one of his friends was going too.
Yeah, and
he didn't really care that much, so he's like, I'll go.
No,
and plus it pisses off Kyron. So
right. So they end up at the college, and then all of a sudden, this huge thing happens where the fucking dad loses his damn business. Which now...
Well, so let's talk about the college for a second.
Okay.
And their college life shit.
Also, by the way, his friend Frankie, favorite person ever. Love
So yeah, we meet Frankie and whatnot because she is the one who was at the college with him and going to college with him. And they have separate lives and separate worlds at the college. Abby is into art and draws and sketches, and that is his side of the college and his side of the world. And Kyron is football, only football. Yes, he's doing business classes at the behest of his father, but football. They don't typically cross paths too much. If they do accidentally cross paths, Kyron is aggressive and mean and like right there. So Abby just doesn't even try to bother. But they're nearing the end of their freshman year and they get their room assignments, and all of a sudden Abby isn't in that side of the college anymore.
And he randomly ends up with this like really nice place that is
he's
usually
being put
reserved
in the side where Kyron is, and near his building, and near his originally he's stationed in his building, but then there was and he ends up being moved. But so it's like all of a sudden he's being put in his path. And Frankie convinces him to try out to be the mascot for the football team because they need a new one.
So funny, by the way.
And weirdly,
he's good at
Abby
it.
loves it, and he's good at it.
Yeah, it's so funny.
So because there was an issue with the building that Abby moved in, he ended up getting switched to this other better building. It's like this fancy, like for the board members' kids kind of thing. And they ended up giving it to him at the same rate that he would have paid for the regular housing. So Abby is there because to pay wise, his parents are just paying for college. They're just paying for housing. Kyron has a full scholarship for the actual college, but they are paying for housing.
Then all of a sudden, his dad loses his business.
They go home for the holidays.
Which is not great because now this is going to affect all of their living expenses at the college because, you know, obviously Abby's now going to have to figure out fucking money for this place. Everything is going to be affected, which is not good.
Abby and his mom were used to living more modestly.
Yeah.
When it was just them, but since they were 15 and everything came together, they were used to living just like they were just
this
spending
really
money
nice
as they
life.
needed. Just yeah. So they both just had credit cards and just spent it as needed, kind of thing.
Yep. And so
from their family.
Abby's
Neither one of them
freaking
had
out.
on-campus jobs. Like they have to focus on their studies.
Yep. So Abby starts freaking out. And then Frankie, my beautiful, lovely, wonderful Frankie, comes to him with this idea of OnlyFans. Because she's been doing it, and this bitch is making fuck tons of money. And she's thinking, we could make more money. And also, we could make even more money as a joke if we, like, I don't know, invited a third in here.
Collab. Well, because people keep asking her. She convinced him to try it because this was before the third.
Gotcha.
So yeah, she convinced him to try it, which honestly, I want to just point out, yes, I know my brain has been a little out for a while because I've been having problems. But did you purposefully choose this book because you are only good for OnlyFans?
No, I didn't. But this book made me contemplate redoing it again.
Right? So she
I have bills to pay.
Frankie convinces Abby to try his own account as a little bit of a side hustle.
Yeah.
He slowly starts to dabble into it a little bit. And he does well. People are liking him.
And it's anonymous.
Yeah. And it's not like, well, Frankie's is anonymous. He's showing his face because he likes the attention.
Wow.
But then Frankie goes to him and it's like, okay, I know you're liking the money you're making now, but it's not even close to what you need for school.
Imagine.
Right. Imagine what could happen because she's been having all these people message her asking her to do collabs with people or for her to be shared. And she's like, well, Abby is my best friend, but it would just be for business. All they would need is a third.
Yeah. Because Abby and Frankie are not into each other. Like, very much not.
And Abby's been upfront the whole time that he likes people.
Yes.
Whoever it is, it's all good.
Yeah. So this is where Chiron comes into play. And they basically proposition him at this party that they're all at. And Chiron obviously very fucking against this. Not only against it because of him being a man, but also being his stepbrother. And he goes, fucking.
And he just doesn't want anything to do with Abby at all.
No. And honestly, most
Frankie,
of it is giving the internal. This is where the internalized homophobia starts to play.
But Frankie has seen them butt heads
and
for
it's
a
hot.
year. And she's like, the sexual tension is so palpable. So that's why she has been so stubborn about she's going to ask Chiron. Because Abby's like, no, that doesn't sound good at all. I'd like to keep my head. Thank you.
Yeah. And so they do eventually talk him into at least doing stuff with her. And of course, like anytime they bump each other, right, with Abby being there, every time they bump into things, Chiron would be like, what the fuck, dude? Don't touch me, this. But then it goes well. And then the video goes out into the world.
Quite well.
It goes
quite well.
It goes so well.
And Abby plays with it because
he does.
Obviously, Chiron is uncomfortable and he's verbally like antagonistic with Abby, but he's also clearly aroused.
Yeah.
So Abby's like, okay, well, we're going to play this game then. Yeah. I'm going to see how far I can push this.
He is a shit disturber. But so they film everything. Frankie puts it out into the world. And she agrees to split all the profits between the three of them.
And she blurred her face like usual, and she blurred
their faces,
everyone else's faces.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's still anonymous. So the fans are not knowing that these are stepbrothers fucking. Like, because, you know, yeah. Everyone clearly, listen. Yeah. And it turns out this video makes a fuck ton of money.
It was
and
a little over
she's
$9,000, so they split it between the three of
so
them.
they split it between the three of them. And so now this is really like sinking into Abby, like, dude, we could make like fuck tons of money. And so
How many more videos? Come on.
he really tries to keep pushing this idea with Kyron because he goes like, listen, like clearly you enjoyed it. Kyron's like, no, the fuck I did it, da 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 da. And he's like, listen, okay, well, like, pretend I'm a girl or something. Like, I don't fucking know. Like,
so it does really well. And Frankie even allows Avi to share it on his OnlyFans. And that's when things start to spiral.
Because Kyron's like, now you're making money off of this because Abby's not splitting that.
Avi's fans are then obsessed with the two boys. They say they can get rid of the girl. They just want to see the two boys again. And they're adamant that they want more. And they're offering all kinds of money and offers, and which makes Avi like start to consider and start to go to Kyron and being like,
and here, read these comments, see what they're saying. Also, by the way, at the start of every single chapter are comments. And it was really cool, actually. I liked that a lot because you could see the comments, and especially as things progressed along, you could see all the different comments that were going on. So Abby's like, dude, listen, here's the comments. This is what people fucking want. And like, we could make a fuck ton of money. And, you know, the money that Frankie had made with just the video of the three of us made a lot. So they're going to establish some rules.
It takes Kyron a long time.
It does take Kyron a long time because, you know.
But he gets desperate with the money situation.
Yeah. Especially with the whole family stuff going on. So their whole thing is that there's no emotional attachment. They do not discuss all of this outside of their quote unquote work. And there is a separation between their real life and their online life. So they're going to create their own.
And his face stays blurred.
Yes. And so they're going to create their own like online kind of stuff. And they post their first content together.
Their first content is literally just them jerking off in front of each other.
Which is so crazy. Well, first they're jerking themselves off and they're like, and Abby's like, well, it could feel better like with different hands.
Make more
and
money.
Kyron's like, blah, 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 blah. And he's like fighting it.
Just we're doing it for the fans.
But we're doing it for the fans. And then they jerk each other off. And the response to this was fucking immediate. And everyone was like clamoring for it. And so all their content starts to gain a lot of traction very fucking quickly. It's getting more attention. They're going to get more money. And it should be noted that they have not stated that they are stepbrothers in this content. So like no one knows that they are stepbrothers.
Well, Abby's face is shown, so that would be bad. They know that would
be very, very bad. Especially with Kyron being on the football team. And like, again, with all of everything going on, it would just not be good for him. They continue to film all their content, and they film a lot of content. I will say one of my the funniest moments for me was when they were trying to decide who was going to bottom.
Well, it takes a long time to get there.
Well, yeah, they're just jerking off. They 69. They like
progression.
It's continuous. So they do eventually get to the point where.
And after each encounter, after each time they record, Kyron basically shuts down and lashes out and leaves and basically ghosts Abby for days to a week
until like he's like, okay, we'll come back, make blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's such a vicious cycle with him. He really goes through it a lot. But so the first time that they decide who's gonna bottom is really funny because then like they're like, okay, here's what we'll do. We'll finger each other, and whoever comes first is the one who bottoms. By the way, Kyron comes real fucking quickly. And he goes, shut up. And like, it was such an interesting moment. Kyron starts to feel, every time everything's over, he feels so guilt. He's confused. He starts to question his identity. And like, all of these feelings keep coming up. And Abby's like, hell fucking yeah. But he is also like vulnerable as well. Like, he has like his whole history of feeling abandonment and everything. And so both of them kind of struggle with their guilt and attraction and confusion. Like, it's because they're starting to like, because Kyron will start thinking of Abby. Like, he tried to go make out with a girl and like all he could think of was Abby and freaked the fuck out, and then his dick didn't work. And so like he came back and he was pissed the fuck off at Abby because he goes, you broke my dick. My dick doesn't work anymore. Like, it's all your fault. And he goes, Okay.
Sucks to suck. Sorry you like it.
Right? Yeah. So, but their whole entire like stepbrother status, it's such a barrier for them because like they're not just two men doing shit on the they're stepbrothers.
And they have their family to.
They have their family to work out, like to worry about. And then jealousy starts to also creep in. So, one of the times they are at like a party and Abby is talking to a friend of his, I think it's Bay. And it's at a party that Kyron's friends are hosting. And so Kyron's already pissed that Abby is there because he's crossing boundaries. He's going with his friends when they want to separate that life from this life. And Kyron's just being Kyron at this point. And Kyron sees Abby with Bay and he ends up like grabbing him and ripping him into the bathroom. And he's like yelling at him because he's jealous, but he's not admitting that he's jealous. And then they end up dry humping in the bathroom until they come. And this really fucks with Kyron's head.
Well, yeah, because this was
A
their
lot.
first not like set up in the bedroom with the cameras going.
Yeah,
And
and he
like,
and then
he almost didn't care about the camera. Like halfway through, he was like,
just
"You
film
need to
it.
record this."
Yeah.
And so poor Avi's like trying to pull it open with his phone and like just
Yeah.
he doesn't even know what he got. Just
Right? Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Yeah. And so Kyron starts to really question his sexuality and his feelings towards Abby a lot. The secrecy of everything starts to really weigh on the both of them and like kind of what they feel privately and how they have to act publicly starts to really like cause a lot of tension between them. And they start to argue a lot more and there's a real fear of being discovered because obviously like this could destroy them realistically and like his dad is also like
well, I think he's worried about what it could do for him for football
professionally and everything. Correct.
And his dad finding out. Like Abby's not necessarily concerned, but like that's Kyron's. Not necessarily because of the stepbrother thing, more just like
yeah. They do start to slowly confront the fact that what they're doing together with everything is just it's not strictly physical anymore. There's now emotions starting to get involved. And the rules that they had originally set at the beginning are starting to very slowly break down, which is gonna happen in a situation like this because Kyron can be just so volatile. And Kyron's also becoming increasingly more and more aware that what they're doing isn't just performance anymore. Like this is literally like we're not just doing this for the fans. We're not just doing this for the camera. And the majority of any of the explosive conflict between the two of them is always
they're
on
making
Kyron's
great
side.
money though.
They're making fantastic money. Yeah. But Kyron really, really struggles with his identity, and Avi has pretty much come to the conclusion he's bisexual. Like he has after the 69 with Kyron.
Like he was always like
kind of like maybe
fluid about whatever.
Yeah. But
like,
as soon as he's like after fucking 69 with Kyron, he goes, yeah, I kind of liked having a dick in my mouth. And I was like, okay, here we go.
I gotta say though, like that scene might have been, it definitely is at the forefront of my mind of out of all the scenes. Like it was only like their second time being together or something, but it was like, and so it was like tame compared to other stuff, but like
it was such an
Abby
intimate moment
on top of Kyron, just like
fucking into his face,
fucking into and his hip,
yeah,
it was like just it's there,
and it was nice and descriptive too. It was great, and I was like, yeah. Woo! Shove that dick in his throat. And honestly, even Abby throughout everything was always thinking about how Kyron had actually a really nice dick. Like, he's like, it was a pretty above average size. Like, this is just great. Go off, man. Anyway, so both of them begin to realize that continuing like this could destroy themselves and their family. Like, how they're so back and forth and like, and all this stuff. Everything kind of reaches like this tipping point, and the fear of being discovered with the family suspicion kind of growing, and there's so everything is just like it's
coming to
honestly
a boil.
It's gonna come to a point where everything starts to explode. Kyron tries to distance himself emotionally, and this starts to cause tension between the two of them. And Abby obviously rejects poorly because he's angry and hurt. He feels abandoned, and their entire whatever relationship they have starts to become extremely unstable, and they realize that they are way too deep in this to walk away super easily.
It's
Kyron is
not
the one.
just a job anymore.
No, no, there's a lot of feelings involved. It's just, yeah. Kyron insists that they need to stop. Like, they need to stop the OnlyFans, they need to stop everything. It's like a mistake. It's dangerous. What they're doing is wrong. And he tries to pretend that the connection that they have isn't real. Realistically, deep down, he is terrified of what their relationship
And
means
how
to
he
him
feels.
and
Yeah.
how he feels. And Avi accuses Kyron of using him, like that he was literally just as involved and emotionally into it as he was. And he's so hurt that Kyron is just willing to erase everything that they had just to protect himself. And Avi admits, like, this meant something to him. And it's super obvious that they're like in love with each other, but they can't admit it out loud. And they
Love is my
just
brother. I don't want that. I don't want that a recording. Just
it's there,
kidding.
baby. That was funny. And so they're saying mean things to each other, and because honestly admitting the way that they feel is like more dangerous to them than the fighting, because I mean they've always fought, they've always done that, but like openly admitting how they actually feel feels like a horrible decision. They do stop the OnlyFans, they pause it, and it's very clear that the two of them are completely suffering at this point, and they're fucking miserable without each other. Like, these poor boys. So,
They stopped the OnlyFans because the only people who knew about the OnlyFans was Frankie, Avi, and Kyron. But
mhm.
they stopped the OnlyFans because one of Avi's other friends found out. And it was just too much and too real for Kyron to have anyone else know. And they can't know if they can trust that and anything else. And so he forces Avi to deactivate the account and to delete their Twitters because they both had made
A joint
Twitters
Twitter,
under
yeah, to
the
promote,
persona,
yeah,
separate Twitters. It
right.
was a joint OnlyFans. They get to a point because they've been avoiding each other and ignoring each other, but they are at the same party. And turns out Avi finally has a roommate. He thought he was just really lucky and was sharing this really fancy apartment with this guy who never showed up. He's like, oh, my roommate never showed up. But then half the semester was over and the roommate came. He was in rehab for the first semester.
Mhm.
And so now he has a roommate. And turns out the roommate is actually someone they went to school with. He doesn't remember any of them. He says he was on drugs the whole time. Kyron had a girlfriend in high school and she cheated on Kyron with this roommate. And
Ash is the roommate.
Ash is the roommate. They end up going to this party that they're both at. And Abby doesn't really want to be there, but his friends are there and the roommate wants to go and he's trying to be, hospitable to his new roommate. And they end up at the same party as Kyron. Abby and Ash are getting along. They're sitting together and hanging out, and their boys are trying to ignore each other, but Kyron's watching Abby. And it gets to a point where the roommate, who is like openly made it clear that he is attracted to Abby, kisses Abby on the couch, and Kyron flips out and goes nuts and starts pummeling the guy until he's having to be pulled off. So that just becomes this big thing. He got jealous because Abby kissed, and it was kind of obvious, and they all just need to cool off. It gets to a point where Abby's like, okay, I'm going to go home with Frankie. My roommate was weird. Obviously, like, I don't want to just keep causing problems. So he moves in with Frankie for a little while.
Mhm.
And when Kyron finally gets his head on straight and gets his shit together, he goes to Frankie's and apologizes to Abby because truly they had gotten to a point in their relationship where they were just hanging out with each other. It wasn't just a job. They were not fighting. They were getting along and they were having a good opportunity together. They were having a good time together and they were really just becoming legit friends too. And then now when they were apart, Kyron saw Abby at the party and he was trash to him. Like he
Yeah.
talked really shitty to him in front of all his friends and everything. And so he ends up going to Frankie's to apologize. And they're like magnets, and one thing leads to another, and they're on each other again. And they finally just talk it out and realize that they can't quit this. Like there's no stopping it. They just keep coming back to each other. And so they are with each other and they are kind of trying to make it work here and there, but also apart at the same time because it's not like fully into it. They don't have anything like holding it fully together, but they're on decent terms and they're trying to work towards it. But then Avi gets called to the dean's office. Come to find out, someone reported his OnlyFans and showed videos. And his face, like we said, is in the videos. And he did deactivate the account, but it was just,
Yeah, but there's also tags like everywhere because like
right.
everybody who follows the OnlyFans like ship him and the other guy. And so
Mm-hmm.
like while
It's there.
yes, their stuff is
And
gone,
Abby's trying to deny it and be
still
like, you can't prove it. What are you talking about? And they're like, well, then we're going to have to do a formal investigation.
Yeah.
You're suspended
And he can't go
during
to
the investigation. And
yeah.
this was like the day before
The
or
really
the
big
day
game.
of this big dinner
Oh, the
for
banquet. You're right.
the football team. And he was invited and it was this whole thing and their families are coming. And he has this special suit and he was going to wear it for Kyron.
While he can't go, Zeb is like, we'll get you in. And I'm like, sir.
They're the band.
Yeah, yeah.
So they do. They smuggle him in. However, unfortunately, schools tend to have things feed and the gossip mill go. Just spread all this stuff. And Abby is a hot commodity at this banquet. And everyone's hushing and talking about it and pointing and wanting to get a photo with him and talk to him. So,
And also
of
trying to
course,
figure out who the fucking other guy is
yes.
as
And of
well.
course, the dean then finds Abby and like, you're not allowed to be here. The parents are like, what the fuck? And there's hushing and whispering. And then all of a sudden they're like questioning Kyron's involvement because he's standing nearby and he's trying to distance. So then Abby just panics because he can't have
and he owns
Kyron.
up to it and he's like, yeah, this is
It's like,
my
no, it is
account.
me. Expel me. Fine. I don't need it anyways. I didn't really want to be here anyways. Like, just expel me. And his poor mother's like, what the heck?
Yeah, so Abby's got to fucking calm his poor mother down.
He goes back to Frankie's for a little bit and he's trying to calm his mom down and whatnot. And then he gets a text a little while later from Kyron who has him meet him out back for a dance. So they kind of have this little moment. So it kind of shows Abby that they're still in this and they're still kind of together. And then they have this last big game, the Rose Bowl of their college season. And while Abby can't go as the mascot, he already had his ticket and Kyron wants him there. So they go. And
also, Kyron's pretty sure Ash is the one who, like,
yes,
outed
because
him
he's
for
the
the
dean's
OnlyFans.
nephew and he's the one who gave Zeb, the one who found out about the OnlyFans, Abby's friend, the stuff to begin with. Showed it to him.
So the moral of the story is Ash Holloway's a piece of shit.
Though honestly,
Not really.
It
Like,
never really
it didn't really.
like it never really came to a point. Like it never really told us about that.
Yeah.
There was no resolution.
No.
Which bummer. But they go to California for the Rose Bowl, and Kyron has an older sister who did not live with them when Abby came, and she lives in California. So
her name's Bridget.
Bridget. And they meet with Bridget while they're there. And she's kind of weird around Kyron. And Abby is kind of like, huh, what you hiding? What you hiding, boy? Because this entire time,
what you hiding, boy?
Kyron has not told Abby about his past and his huge stuff that he's got. He doesn't want Abby to know. He doesn't want Abby to see him differently. But then Bridget starts saying things and when they are coming back from the big game. They won. He has to go back with Bridget because Kyron's doing team stuff and they're going to meet up at the party. And he finally asks Bridget, like, what's going on?
And so basically, his parents had split. What had happened with Kyron was when he was 12, I
Hmm.
believe it was, when he was
Hmm.
12, he went to a church camp and he was, you know, raped by a.
He was forced to do sexual acts, not raped,
It's
but
rape.
yes, but not in that exact.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. By one of the father, whatever the fuck this douche nugget's name is. And they did end up eventually getting a settlement with it and everything later on. But yeah, it was so it fucked him up bad because he's
Well, that
12.
and his parents didn't really believe him, and
No.
basically was like, they're gonna turn you gay and suck it up and blah
Yeah,
blah
so
blah blah
he
blah.
so like he had to bury
And all
all
they
of
ended
that
up
growing
doing was
up.
suing them because it was getting out and it was a bad look and all this stuff, and they
Yeah.
needed to like squash it. And
And Bridget
so,
was really like concerned because like now she told him all this stuff and of course Abby's like pissed because this is like awful stuff and Bridget's just like please just don't leave him over this like girl I don't think that that's what's gonna make him leave but now like
but that's what they're both worried about.
it's right it's just it's such a yeah. And I think they only ended up going after the guy because a few other kids also ended up
Also,
coming out
exactly,
with it
yes,
too. So it like hit his dad in the face with
that he
everything going
had
on.
to.
So
And
it basically tore their entire family apart.
the mom
And
just left and had a new family. She just basically was like, "Peace out, I can't do this anymore."
yeah.
And
And Bridget
the
went with
dad's
the
kind
mom.
of,
So
no,
yeah.
she didn't. She was an adult.
Oh, just kidding.
Like, no,
But she just
like
didn't stay.
17. So she
But she
basically
also
left.
left.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she
Well,
also
she was
left.
with the dad for like a hot minute and then left.
Yeah.
She was not there for the brunt of him growing up with his dad in his teens and stuff, but he also felt abandoned by her, but she also felt like it was kind of her fault.
Right.
She didn't go to camp that year. She just felt it was her job to like look out for her brother, and she just needed some space. And the father's kind of pissy because Chiron won't touch the money, but
Yeah. And then they all
especially
go
with
to a
their
party. And then
relationship.
guess what? They kiss in front of everybody.
Bridget goes home because she's like, I just tell him I have a headache.
Yeah.
And Avi ends up going to the party to see Chiron, and Chiron sees him, and yeah, he shows
Fucking
everyone their
smacks one right
relationship.
on his face and like there's like
He's like, I'm not
gasps and
hiding
everything.
anymore.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm glad.
They're all happy and excited over it. But then they go back and he realizes Bridget didn't come, and then he gets a text from Bridget saying that she's sorry that she told Avi.
And then so now Abby has to explain to Kyron that he knows everything as well. And he is not
And
really
Chiron
thrilled about
is
all of
like
this either.
distraught.
Yeah.
Avi thinks everything's okay because he and Chiron spend the night together and they had a good talk. And he feels like they got to a good spot and that Chiron doesn't still feel that Abby wouldn't stay. And they like basically are both telling each other that they love each other. And then Abby wakes up.
And Kyron went home. He left. He went home. And of course, like now Abby's a fucking mess because he didn't,
What the fuck?
because like he got a text from another Gutty, I believe Gutty is one of the dudes from the team, because he ended up getting Abby's number and told him that he heard from Coach that Kyron went home
Because he didn't know. He
because
was
he didn't know
gone.
because he's still texting Kyron and Kyron's not texting him back and he's not getting anything and he's not hearing anything. So now he's freaking out because like what the fuck?
What
And so
happened?
now he's understanding that like he actually did go
Left
home.
him.
And like all of his teammates feel bad about this shit. And now he's trying to think like, okay, well, he said he loved me, but was that him saying goodbye? Was me
Right.
finding out the truth like way too much for him? Like it's just now he's back to feeling abandoned, which is insane. He ended up leaving school. He moved out of the door. Like so much
He
shit
just
just happened because
literally,
he was like, all right,
like, he
I'm
ghosted Abby.
yeah, yeah, yep. And now he's thinking, just fucking Kyron like hate me and all this other stuff. So Abby goes home
Like home,
and
not to the
talk
dorms.
right. And she's asking Abby if he wants to tell her like what the fuck is going on. It's
Kyron just came and
complicated.
dropped all his shit and
Yeah.
then said he wasn't going to be back for like a month. He was
Yeah.
basically like, I have stuff to do, like, bye. But
Yeah.
Abby still doesn't know what's going on.
No. And he opens up to her about like the the porn and him realizing that he's bisexual and all this other stuff. And she goes, "Okay, and your point? Like, did you forget like your uncle's gay? Like, what the fuck?" He says that him and Kyron have been together for about 3 months. And she is just like, "Okay, well, do you love
Good.
him?"
She's like, well, I did notice you were
Pretty
starting to get
much.
along.
And then asks what happened, like, did they have a fight and all this other stuff. She's very understanding, which honestly was really nice to see, especially considering Kyron is her stepson. She's still okay with all of this stuff happening. Abby asks if Tom, the stepdad, had ever mentioned why Kyron stopped going to church and all this other stuff. She did not know. By the way,
and
also,
he's been so secretive about everything.
they're getting a divorce.
And so she's like, I'm done. Yeah.
I would be too. That's, yeah, it's crazy.
So
And
no, she knows nothing because he won't tell her anything, and it's been a point of contention with them.
yeah,
Which you
so
probably should have thought about that before you married him, but what do I know? Anyway, so Kyron, with all his newfound love and hope and realization, he decided he needed to get his head on straight to be properly in a relationship with Abby, but he didn't tell Abby any of this. He
because
just
why would
fucking
he?
ghosted him like an idiot and spent about 6 weeks just basically off the grid getting therapy.
Which honestly, good
Which
for
is
him. I'm so
great
glad, but
for
I wish
him.
that he would have opened up and said
But
something
you
to
could
Abby
have
ahead of
just
time.
said something, left a
Did it?
note, anything. Like
Didn't we
halfway
just go
through,
through this whole you guys need to have
yeah,
communication
like
thing and now we're
halfway
just not
through this whole
communicating
time, he
anymore?
did send a text to Abby and was like, I do love you. You know, I will be home when I can, kind of thing.
But he really needed to
But
come to
like, still,
terms with,
no information,
yeah, but he really
nothing.
needed to come to terms with his sexuality, everything that happened in the past with all the grooming and everything that he needed. So I understand that, and I mean
Absolutely.
he wants not only to make sure that his relationship will work, but he also really wants to go
Heal
into the
himself.
NFL. Like that's
That too.
also like his huge goal. So
But
he needs to
I
like,
think Abby would have understood if he
of
had
course
just
Abby would have understood.
communication.
This man just has no communication skills. Does
But
end up meeting up with his mother as well.
so at the end, right before he goes home to Abby, he decides he needs to confront his parents together.
Yeah. His mom
And
is
he puts on his big girl
he puts on his
panties
big girl panties. Yeah,
and does what he needs to do.
yeah. I mean,
If only he could have done that with.
his mom does openly say that she is proud of him.
I don't. You can
And
take your proud and you can shove it up your fucking
honestly,
ass. What the
thank
fuck?
you. Exactly. Yes, he even says that too. He goes like, "You're equally to blame by everything. Like I was abused by someone and you didn't do anything." And just as he
And
says
then
that,
you
his fucking
bounced
dad
as
walks
my
in,
parent.
right? And it's just, I mean, all his dad is like, "I'm so glad that you're all right." And he goes, "Excuse the fuck out of me. Were you worried?" He goes, "Don't be this way." Da da da. And like, it's
Because
just,
he just basically ghosted everyone for 6 weeks.
and his dad fucking
But
pissed him the fuck off. And he does go off on his parents and he goes, "You guys were supposed to protect me and all this other stuff." And he fucking didn't. And, you know, you told me I was overreacting and making it all up and all this other, like, it's just, I am so proud of him. Like, his father's like, "Yeah, we fucked up." And I'm like, "Bitch, shut the fuck up. You
But
should have solved
again,
this years
he
ago."
could have
Like,
communicated.
yeah. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
so then
And then
it's
he
not
tells his father about Abby,
yeah.
trying to make the steps. And then he
But
goes
he
to
is
find
happy.
Abby.
But then the father is, "I am proud of the two of you." So he also is accepting of it as well. So, I mean, I'm glad that all the parents are accepting, but
Now.
God, they're so fucking awful. Like, Jesus fucking
Well,
Christ.
Kyron moves on and goes to find Abby,
Yeah.
who has moved out of Frankie's and now has a place with his mom because his mom's divorcing.
Divorce. Thank God for that
Yeah.
shit. Like,
But Kyron has to do some groveling with Abby's friends to get the location. And then he goes and finds Abby.
and they make up and they don't want to leave each other ever again, which is great.
But they never resolve, in my opinion,
No.
the lack of communication.
No. Well, their whole relationship has always been like really, really shitty communication. And you would think that that would be the one thing that Kyron would have learned in therapy is like you need better communication with your partner if it's going to work out. But they never really end up doing that. But I mean, at least they come together and
Come together.
literally they end up fucking.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, and they're just happy. And yeah, so then we have some epilogues. And the thing I like about the epilogues is we do have one in each. They are two different times. Like the first one is Kyron's and it's 3 months later. And they actually have decided to start making content again. It went back to being Abby being like a solo account and then Kyron just be featured on it. And people actually have been begging for them to come back as a couple. Kyron does get drafted into the NFL.
Yeah, the
And
OnlyFans is a solo only account, but he Instagrams them as a couple
yeah,
and Twitters them as a couple.
they're
So
so
like
everyone
they
loves
have the
them.
couple moments, but not the coupling moments.
Yes. Yeah. And so Kyron's in the NFL. They're also getting a townhouse together and they're just disgustingly in love. Like, so the money that Kyron had actually gotten from the settlement, he mentions it here too, is he ended up actually donating it. It was about $1.4 million and he donated it to a bunch of special charities and everything. Avi's epilogue is 6 months later, and it's actually Kyron's birthday, and he's throwing him a birthday party. They've only been an official couple for 9 months, which is crazy, but it's been nonstop sex and talking. They have millions of followers on social media, and they are very out and proud to the entire world. Abby got him this really, really adorable gift for his birthday, and it's this leather-bound book with like pictures that Abby has taken of them for like the fans and everything because he posts all that other stuff and screenshots of comments and DMs fans used to send them. It's basically the story of them in a leather-bound book, and it's adorable. Anyways, favorite character. I really liked Frankie because
Yeah.
Frankie really was the catalyst to everything that happened. And she was very encouraging and a really good friend. And we all need a Frankie in our life. I feel like you could be, you could be my Frankie. Are we doing OnlyFans together? Smutty Book Club presents.
Don't don't say that out loud.
Nope. No, I liked Frankie a lot.
Yeah.
Even like Abby's mom was very supportive, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Kyron's
I
guy can go fuck
enjoyed-
off. Who cares?
Yeah, I enjoyed Frankie and I enjoyed the cat.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the cat.
But Crystal didn't talk about the cat.
No, I didn't. Sorry. Least favorite character.
So Kyron's parents,
Yeah.
I don't I would say Ash, but I don't have any resolution with him. I don't have any
No.
actually confirmation. I don't have anything. Like I don't have
No,
it. I don't like that. I don't like
Yeah,
that.
I also want to go with Kyron's parents. Like, because the biggest thing for me is like, if your child comes to you with something like that, you should take that very, very seriously. I understand that they were this huge, like, religious da 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 da. It'll look bad, and I know that. Okay, here's the thing.
I get it, but I mean I don't get it, but
Right.
I hear that.
No,
but,
I hear it because I know that that does happen.
well, yeah, but
They literally failed their child
still
to
not
the
okay.
point that he felt like, well, he had to hide it, had to bury all those feelings. It then set off like all the internalized issues that he had growing up, made him into this angry, angry person. And yeah, like he eventually opened up to Abby and like eventually like, but like
He even kind of says like if they had just gotten him therapy in the beginning, like or something,
he would have
you know.
been a well-rounded human being. Yeah, it's just his parents. Obviously, the person who molested him is the worst. But
we don't know him.
his
Like
parents
we
are
don't
so
have him
bad.
in the story enough to
Right.
like
Yeah,
have
his
a whole
parents-
character.
yeah, and I understand like
Not know.
his parents apologize, but they can shove that apology up their fucking ass. Like that was
Mhm.
such a
It's a little too long, a little too.
yeah, they were awful, awful human beings. Like get fucked. I do appreciate that Abby's mom had the self-respect to get the fuck out. And she goes,
She
we're
shouldn't have put
not.
them in that position to begin with.
No,
here we are.
but when everything broke down,
We
instead
are.
of
Yeah.
hanging on and making excuses for her husband and like all this other stuff, she immediately accepted Kieran and Abby and was like, oh,
Hmm.
okay, like you love him, fantastic, like I love you, like.
Great.
And then when Abby was like, yeah, I'm gay, like I'm bisexual, she goes, yeah, so your uncle's gay, so what, who the fuck cares? And I did appreciate that, and it just goes to show, like, because her and Abby had like a really good relationship,
Yeah. And they
you know.
still did. It's just it
It
changed
just
the dynamic of the whole
correct, yeah.
household
So
and
I
from
do
her.
appreciate that for her. So okay, so now Amazon gives us a 4.5, Goodreads is a 4.3, and Storygraph is a 4.25. Where did you land?
Where did you rate it?
I rated it like a 4.25.
Okay. So I had some issues.
Of course.
Not the issues that I thought I would necessarily have going
Which is
in.
interesting.
Was I still not a fan that they started as 15 years old? And was I still not a fan that they were only like 19, 20 max during this whole thing? Not my favorite age range to read. So
Right.
like, but that's a me problem. That's not this is wrong. That's a I just don't prefer that.
Right.
I did have issues with the ability to properly pace months and ages as they went by. Like I found several instances where they would say that a year and a half went by and then suddenly they were a different age than they should be a year and a half later
Gotcha.
because they were both 15 and then all of a sudden they said, you know, 18 months went by and now all of a sudden they're 18. Like that doesn't equate. It's great that you're
Right.
aging them up. We just
Right.
need to have the proper words.
Gotcha.
And the same thing happened a couple other times, and even in the epilogue, where they said that they were celebrating the 20th birthday or whatever, and it was just the way that
Hmm.
it was going. It
Yeah,
was
because it was
it was wrong.
they all took place 9 months after
After they would have
everything.
been like right, so that would have been their 21st. It's just, but
Gotcha.
it was just weird little nitpickies there. I
Hmm.
hated the lack of communication. Not a big fan. And I didn't
Yeah.
like the different pieces of non-resolution that we got. I just
Hmm.
wish we got them. Overall, I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the perspectives.
Hmm.
Like the boys' characters were really well built, I felt.
Hmm.
Even though they were very flawed characters,
But
I
you could
felt
also sense like the way that they struggled built them into the characters that they are. So it's not like they gave them all these struggles and then like nothing came from it. Like literally,
right.
like you could
No, that's
see,
that's right.
which I
And it was
enjoyed.
okay that they were flawed. It wasn't like, oh, this is a great like they were greatly built
Yeah.
characters. They
Which we
had
struggled with in the past where we haven't
yes.
had
And so
those.
that is something I truly did like in this book.
Hmm.
And I really liked how much it got into each of the boys' head and their different perspectives about their different insecurities
Hmm.
and their different things. And I did really like how heartfelt that
Yeah.
was because sometimes it's hard to get into that mindset, especially if you haven't been like that's not your mindset or you know what I mean?
Right.
But I felt like that was really well done.
And
I rated
it wasn't like an instant like, oh my God, now we love each other. It really
no.
was like a
And
lot
it wasn't like this
of
is what this
work
character
taken.
thinks and feels. It
Yeah.
just we learned it along the way and it was
Yeah.
well built in.
Yeah.
And I just I rated it 3.5 stars because
Hmm.
while I genuinely
You
enjoyed
have
it
your
more than I thought I would, I had a few things that held me back a little bit,
hmm.
but I do want to say that it is a strong 3.5 because of the character building.
Yeah.
I
Which
that
is
was
great.
something for me that
Which is
because that is
great.
something we've had issues with, but
Yeah.
I liked
Lately
that.
too. We had a lot of
And
issues with that lately.
characters are what
Drive a story.
build right. Like you can have this great world building, but if nobody can connect to a character and your characters don't have any depth,
What's the
who
point?
what's the subject? What is the
Yeah.
subject doing? Like it's like
Yeah.
There's no, so
Yeah, considering like the different taboo kind of books we've read, this is definitely has been like higher up in the ones that we've read for me at least. Like,
yeah. And I read some taboo and I read decent ones. This was just different. I don't genuinely like kids very much. The stepbrother thing, yeah, it was kind of, but it wasn't really like a big, they're not blood related. Did I like that they grew up a little bit together? No, but they didn't grow up from
but that's also
kids.
part of the taboo portion
No,
of
right,
it was
right,
the yeah.
right. But I didn't feel like it was like they grew up together since they were two. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? They were 15. They were almost 16 years old.
Yeah.
Like they, that's not,
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it was as taboo-y. I almost wonder if it's like some of the OnlyFans too that is kind of a little bit of that
Well, I think that's part of it was it was the stepbrothers, but it's the stepbrothers doing the OnlyFans together to make
to make money,
money
right?
was
And hey, if you can make money that way, you do your thing. Did I think it was okay that they just instantly got expelled? Was that in their policy? Like that
right?
just seems a
Like
little
the fuck?
extreme.
Like,
I
come
don't
on.
that, and there was no real, it was just like a blip. So for how
Yeah.
much character building there was,
There's just little bits and pieces here and
yes.
there.
And
I
I
get it.
felt like the book, it was on the larger side. It wasn't like a super chunky book, but it was like on the larger side of normal.
Hmm.
But for being on the larger side, I felt like they put so much in that they didn't have time to
Add the other stuff in.
go through it
Gotcha.
completely. Like they could have taken stuff out and spent more time on the
Yeah.
specifics. I would be interested in Frankie's life, maybe,
Yeah.
but do I think that it fit what we were looking for in the we are debating the morality of it? Not for me, but maybe for you.
I mean, morally, should you fuck your stepbrother on camera for money?
Sure, but I don't think either one of us necessarily have strong feelings about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But other people might. So you
Absolutely.
never
But
know.
for us to debate
Yeah.
it, I don't think either one of us necessarily are like, darn you.
No, let me not watch hot men fuck each other.
Can I see that scene?
Right?
Hold on.
Where's the 69 scene? Can I see it?
I won't. Yeah. I'm going to give it an honorable mention, though, for having a scene that will probably be rent-free in my head for a little
Oh my
while.
God. It was good, and honestly, I felt like I enjoyed the scenes throughout the book in general, and like seeing the progression from when they were like tentatively starting out to like full blown going on for the only it was good. Yeah. It was yeah, that scene lives rent free in the brain.
Well, Crystal,
Yes, it was
was
actually.
this a one-handed read for you?
Absolutely it was. Yeah. Yeah, it
Yep.
was. Yeah. Yeah. That it was.
Yep, yep, yep,
How about you, Ariel?
yep. Forgot wrong marker.
That was the easiest decision we've ever made.
Yeah, I don't feel like we're debating here.
No, not at all. All right. Now, as far as the spice scale goes, I would say personally, I'm kind of gonna go with a Serrano-ish, maybe a little over a Serrano, just because there wasn't. I mean, unless you count filming it as something extra, because then we could bump it up to a Cayenne. Because there were many scenes. That's 69 scene, Jude. Ugh. It was so good. If you guys read anything out
We
of this
didn't.
book, reread that 69 scene. There was a lot of spice in this. Like, as soon as they started doing the OnlyFans content, the
I'm
spice
gonna
really kicked up.
say, yeah, it was a Serrano and a half, and that
Yeah.
half because it was a scene that sticks out. And
Yeah.
sometimes we read so much that
It
it
just
kind of
like
all
comes in
blurs
and out, but
together.
like,
And I'm
yeah.
like, oh yeah, that did happen. But like for me to, I read this a couple weeks ago, and for me to still be like vividly be able to like, that's the
Yeah.
scene I see.
Dude, it was so good.
Fuck it, we'll give
Uh,
it a Cayenne just for that scene.
And they came in each other's mouth. Ugh.
For the very first time.
Literally. Oh, God. Yeah. No. No, it was. Yeah. Yeah. I'd survive. I'd be watching.
Survive.
I'd be like,
I would survive.
I would subscribe.
I would subscribe.
No shame. I would subscribe. Yeah.
I would subscribe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now that's over. Sweet baby Jesus, let's see if I have to fucking read again. Please, God.
Crystal month, crystal month, crystal month, crystal month.
Alrighty. So, let's see what we're reading next.
Crystal, crystal. February is for crystal.
All right. So it has landed on Beauty and the Baller by
Not a crystal.
Isla Madden Mills, and it is not a me book.
Not a crystal.
Thank
What
fuck.
category was this? Fake dating. Beauty and the Baller. Beauty and the Baller by Isla Madden Mills. An NFL quarterback. Oh, well, look at, you know what?
Yo, it is leading
Listen.
right into.
I think this is because of Super Bowl month.
God help us.
Do you think that's why we're reading about NFL players?
Maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, gorgeous, talented, and brilliant. NFL quarterback Ronan Smith has the world in his hands. But after losing his career and his fiancée in a car accident, he falls into a pit of grief and bad choices. When a mysterious girl shows up to his party, he feels drawn to her and makes her his for one night. Former beauty queen Nova Morgan is on a mission. Scantily clad as a princess from a galaxy far, far away, she sneaks into a high-profile party to capture the attention of her favorite quarterback. But her hopes crash after an awful one-night stand. Ooh, so she's trying to find him. Ooh. Fast forward 2 years. Broke and desperate, Nova returns to Bluebell, Texas, where, by a cosmic twist of fate, her broody neighbor is none other than Ronan, the shiny new football coach everyone adores. But he has no idea who she is. The Booster Club keeps shoving women at Ronan to keep him in town, and his solution? He proposes fake dating to Nova. But things heat up for real under these Friday night lights when he realizes she's the one who slipped away. Has this jaded beauty found her forever baller, or will his past keep them apart?
So fake dating did start depressing with that fucking description. The dude lost his fiance in a car accident. Like, the fuck?
And then this girl goes and is like, I'm gonna get you. I don't know how I feel about that already.
Get you. Sorry.
But Crystal loves fake dating, and
I
that's why she
do.
put this on the list, I think.
I do love fake dating, yeah.
Hmm.
I don't even remember putting it on the list, but here we are.
No, I put this book on the list. You put
Nope.
the category.
I literally don't remember putting the category on the list. I don't remember what I did yesterday. So, anyways.
Also true.
That has been a run of Crystal speaking.
I
and
guess
I can't
Crystal's
wait to take a fucking
run
break.
is over. Yes.
Thank God.
Maybe she'll do it next time.
God
After
help us
that.
all.
We'll find out. But tune in next week and make sure to keep reading.
And keep it smutty. Need to speak, my love. You can shut the fuck up for 5 minutes. Just kidding. You okay? What was the face? The tea?
Yeah.
Is it cold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste good cold. This kind.
No. Yeah.
Some of them are fine when they've cooled off. And
Some
I'm not mad about it. Do I want it to be hot? Do I like that it's cooled off? No. This one tastes different.
Oh, I don't like that. That's why I don't drink the coffee when it's like if I don't make coffee cold to begin with, like if I don't make specifically cold coffee and I just have hot coffee that turns cold, I don't like it. It tastes weird. I will say
this one's like it's a herbal mix, so it's like a bunch of different herbs and stuff. So like it was fine while it was hot.
Not while it's cold. I get it. What was that?
I almost drank the tea again.
Oh, stop doing that.
Coach gets sacked by a Texas beauty queen in this swoony, passionate romance from Wall Street Journal. Best-selling author. I didn't mean to read that.
The fact that you put that up to the screen while we're video recording and I have to leave
just
that
wanted
in an
you to see
episode.
it. We can blur it out, I think.
I'll figure it out.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck.